Welcome, one and all, to Talking with Tom and Jim. I'm your host, Jeff Greenwald. Here with me is Tom Goldra, Jim Goldra. That way, actually. Tom, I can't. Yeah, their names are up there. Tom Goldra and Jim Goldra. They're film historians. They have written 4 books on the golden age of Hollywood. They have traveled the world, and it's always great to talk to you guys. They're actors and writers, and it's just great to hear your stories, because there's always something cool coming out of you guys in one way or the other. Just the awesomest stories ever. And so welcome, guys, to your show.
Thanks. It's always fun to be here with you guys.
Yep.
Next to me is Matthew Rose. He's an actor. He's a producer. He's the craziest prop guy. And, of course, as I said before, wherever Matthew goes, Tom, that's where
the action is.
All the action is. I'm trying to get you to say it.
That's where the action is.
Welcome, guys. Okay, so I have a question for you, and it's based sort of on that statement of where all the action is, and that is, because I know the answer to this one, but we'll hopefully dive a little bit deeper. When you've done characters or roles on stage, have you used real life people or situations as inspiration for those roles, and what were they, like, as an example?
Yeah, well, you know the one for Rat Race, and that's where Prospector Pete was born from. That came from a fellow we knew when we were kids. I mean, he was a kid too, but he was mentally challenged, I guess you call him. And he was. That's where that term came from. He said, "Have you ever been to Hayward before?" Well, I have. That's where all the action is. I don't know what's going on in Hayward. What the only other time that I can remember that I actually borrowed it from somebody else was when I played Mr. DePina in a play called what's that play called with Lionel Barrymore?
Dracula.
No, not Dracula.
Oh,
it's a comedy.
Yeah.
Anyway, a play that I did. It takes place in this kind of a crazy household. I got this giggle that I did. I got that from Dwight Fry from Dracula, the old Bela Lugosi Dracula.
Playing Renfield.
Yeah, playing Renfield. And after the play was over, a guy from the audience came up, and this is where we first met him, and we've known him ever since then. But he said, "I know where you got that from, Dwight Fry." And I was surprised that somebody else knew who Dwight Fry would have been. So those are the only. Boy, my mind really is going blank. I can't remember the name of the play. Huh. Yeah. Anyway, it was a comedy.
That's what happens when we spring a question on you.
Yeah, but those are the only 2 times I can think of for me. What about you, Jim?
Back when I was in college, sometimes I think of Vincent Price or something, or Peter O'Toole with Help and Influence in the beginning. But when I got away from college, school and all that, it was more. I can't think of anything that I borrowed from. It just came through the rehearsals. Me practicing at home, characters developing. I can't think of.
I can't think of any others besides those 2.
What about you, Matthew? I'm curious. You've done a lot of acting.
I did some stand-up comedy in college, and I was heavily influenced by, Steve Martin and Robin Williams. And so I was pretty animated on stage. And then, and so I didn't steal any of their jokes, but I stole that sort of frenetic energy that I wanted. And then in plays, I think I would always I would always try and borrow from like Michael J. Fox as much as possible. And so I felt like I just steal his delivery, and I'll be able to nail the scene. So that was probably my biggest influence on stage. How about you, Jeff?
I think that I had to play a role once, and it didn't fit. It fit, but you wouldn't have known what I was doing. But I completely decided I'm going to be Sylvester Stallone. And it was not a role that Sylvester Stallone belonged in. So like, I think that if you it was a total just farce comedy, and I think that if you would have never known it was Sylvester Stallone, but then as soon as I said it's Sylvester Stallone, you wouldn't be able to unknow it.
Mm-hmm.
But it worked so well because the audience thought my voice was so funny. No one had a clue because it was so unlike anything you would see Sylvester Stallone in, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm looking for the donuts and they're not here. The donuts aren't here. You know what I mean? And everyone would just be like busting up because it was a ridiculous comedy, right? You'd be like, why is there kittens all over my bedroom? And they'd be like, ha 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 ha, this guy, he doesn't, you know. And it worked. And then later I told everybody, I didn't tell them throughout the whole process, but it was Sylvester Stallone, and then it just blew everyone's mind because the play didn't fit that.
In real life, off of the stage, very unintentional. Sometimes when Jim and I were doing things, it would make people think of Laurel and Hardy, and like we were helping fix up a video store, bringing in wood and putting it up, and all this, and just the way we did it, just by being us.
We were trying to be funny.
We were trying to do anything, it was being us. People would start looking at us and they would kind of laugh, saying, "Oh, this is like Laurel and Hardy."
Look at these guys! Look at these guys! Oh man,
a little bit of Stan Laurel and Ollie Hardy in us. I don't know.
Oh, that's great.
I still can't think of the name of that play. I'm keep trying to think of it. I mean, normally I would know it right off the top of my head. I mean, yeah, that play.
Yeah,
I did it twice.
The best part about that, Tom, is the poster for the play is in the square right next to you right now.